Unions, do you love them? Do you hate them? Do you know anything about them? I didn't know too much, but I get to tell you about them today. So the general thing to know about a workers' union is that in a union you have people that represent you to your employer. You have to pay dues to the union for that representation, and with that representation and the conglomeration of other union members, you're able to have power and numbers as a section of your company's labor force. So as with anything in life, there are pros and cons to being a union member on some of the finer detail levels. As a union member, you definitely can get better wages. In 2010, the U.S. Labor Bureau found that union members typically earned $200 more per paycheck than non-union members. Additionally, you can have greater access to medical benefits versus non-union members, and you cannot be fired under a just cause basis. There has to be a evaluation period, and you can be afforded some basically dragging out the process of being fired as a union member. And if you're part of a large union, you as a group can have a lot of bargaining power. Now, some of the negatives to being a union member is that if you're part of a small union, you're going to be paying dues and your group's not going to have much power. There's not going to be much benefit to it. So, that's kind of a no-win scenario. You may disagree with your union's decisions. You're paying them dues every year. There's a lot of stuff going on. You may not always necessarily like the choices that they make and how they deal with the company or industry that you work in or for. There's reports of less collaboration with supervisors and management. Typically, being in a union kind of separates you from management and creates a us versus them type of relationship. So that's definitely a negative factor of being in a union, is that creates a little bit of preset tension between you and your management. And then also, if you're a junior member in a union, you're more at risk during firing rounds since you don't have seniority. Even if you're more qualified than other union members, if they have seniority over you, it's probably going to be you that gets fired, like I say, even if you're more qualified. Labor unions in general are considered to be good for workers. If you can find one that's in your industry and you agree with their position and decisions, and they seem to be large enough that they've got a good amount of bargaining power and you can afford their dues, then you should consider joining.